Señoras y señores, bienvenidos a mi canal. Hoy está con nosotros uno de los bateristas más grandes de la historia del rock. Él ha tocado y ha estudiado en Berklee College of Music y ha tocado con grandes artistas de renombre como Billy Idol, Ozzy Osbourne, Velvet Revolver, Foreigner, Pride and Glory, Glenn Hughes, Snakepit, Whitesnake. Y una de las últimas bandas que él ha estado tocando es The Dead Daisies. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you one of the greatest drummers in the history of rock and roll music, the one and only Brian Tichy. Hello, Brian.
How you doing? Thank you for that awfully kind introduction. It's a little leaves me a little speechless to hear somebody say something like that because it's not true. But thank you anyways. I'll take it.
Yeah, you have been a great inspiration for me and many drummers here in Argentina, believe me.
Oh, well, thank you. That's nice to know.
Which was the reason that you decided to become a drummer?
There was no reason other than I was always attracted to the look and sound of a drum set. I always thought it was the coolest thing. You know, if there was anywhere I was, if I saw a picture of drums, if you know, just listening to drums and music, you know, or somebody on TV and the band on TV, you know, whatever, the talk show band, the drummer was always the coolest. So it's just that's what I always thought, and the drum set was the coolest. So this is like before I even played, you know, before I was playing a drum set, that's what I thought. I was to the point I was like, if there's a mountain of everything cool on this planet, at the very top is a drum set, you know. It was that simple. So it wasn't like I got into rock and roll as a kid and then I liked the drummer, you know, or somebody gave me a drum set. It was just I thought drums were the coolest. So I was already on my way. I was already like, okay, somehow I got to play drums. You know what I mean? And then I eventually got a drum set, and that was it. I never stopped. The first band I got into was Kiss. So it was Peter Criss first. You know, he was the first. That's the only. It was probably like 2 or 3 years of Kiss records. It's like that's all I you know, I get $5, $6, and go buy a Kiss record. Or Christmas would come around, I get a Kiss record. There was a couple years, and then soon after that, I got into Aerosmith and Ted Nugent and Zeppelin and AC/DC, you know, and all the rock stuff. But it started with Peter Criss and Kiss, and then you know, then it went into, you know, so Peter first, then of course, you know, John Bonham, Alice Van Halen, Neil Peart, and you know, the list goes on and on. You know, tons of drummers I grew up on. You know.
Lord, I woke up early this morning. You're just losing your mind.
So, how was your experience playing with Pride and Glory with Zakk Wylde?
Yeah, that was great. It was a really fun time to be like, you know, I've been friends with Zakk. We played together here, you know, jammed a little bit here and there for over a couple of years. And when he called me to do it, I flew out to LA. We rehearsed for a few weeks, went up to Seattle and made the record over a few months, and then got ready the next year to go on tour. And that was my first time being in a band that's on a major label, and he's, you know, everything's going to be done. This is the early 1990. We got to go. It was my first time going to Europe and playing festivals and being on tour with Zakk, playing clubs. I had only toured in the States before that, and was in Canada maybe a little bit. Maybe I was in Toronto once or twice, but I had never been, you know, to Europe or Japan or South America. But with Zakk, yeah. So we went straight to Europe a couple times, did a lot of touring, a lot of festivals, and we went to Japan, then we came back to the States, and that was it, you know. And I got to South America with the next year with Slash. I started playing with Slash after that, and that's what got me to South America the first time. But yeah, but it was great. Zack's a badass, you know. We had total freedom. It was a weird kind of freedom because Zakk comes out of Ozzy, he's got a deal, but he's not playing the game. Like, he's not jumping on a bandwagon of any. He's not going grunge. He's not going pop. He's not going metal. He's not going country. And as I know, you know, he's all into the Almonds and Skynyrd. He was doing a mixture of a lot of stuff. He was still giving you all the guitar heroics, but we were probably a more raw band than like anybody out there. Like looking back, the way we recorded, the way we approached music, no click tracks. Everybody played together to get the take, like in the studio. Zach would be over there with his Marshalls. Lomenzo would be over there. Zach was sitting in a chair. I think James was in the room too, but his bass was in behind a door. And I just count the band in, and we do a take. And if I screwed up, I'd be like, fuck, start again, you know? And or we do a take and be like, let's do it again, man. That was okay. Let's do it. And that, like, that's how I thought, you know, rock bands made records. You know, you rehearse, you come in prepared, but we had no click tracks, you know, and
it's more, and recording in that way, I think it's more, it sounds like more human, more natural. No, so it doesn't have that machine sound, you know. It sounds
yeah, but you know, but I don't mind playing the clicks. Like I don't mind if like the band, let's just say the band's not getting the tempo, and somebody is like the guy who wrote the song is like, man, you're a little on top, or it's just a little slow, or whatever. I don't mind if the solution is let's just play to a click. It's just you just want to make it feel good, you know. At the end of the day, the drummer just has to make it feel good. If you can make it feel good to a click, that's cool. But if you can make it feel good without a click, and you don't need the click to worry about and think about, because nobody else outside of when that song's recorded and put out there and it's bought and it's listened to, it's on the radio, nobody out there gives a crap if you played a click or not. Nobody cares. They just care if they like the song. And if it's, it's got a good beat and it's got a good melody and I could clap to it, I could dance to it, I could bang my head to it. Nobody cares. Like, do I care if Vinny Appice played to a click with Dio or not, or with I don't care. Like, if he did, fine. And I know he didn't. I mean, it sounds like he didn't. I don't think they were doing clicks back then like that in rock bands. But I'm saying, who cares? Who cares if he did or didn't? And we know, I guess it's just because all the best rock bands, and the biggest rock bands have proven with the biggest, most successful records with the most badass songs and production and everything, whether it's the Who or the Stones or Zeppelin or Queen or Aerosmith or Van Halen or the Eagles or Fleetwood Mac or Rush, like they've all proven us back in the 70s they didn't need click tracks. It didn't matter. And listen to those records. They didn't gate. They didn't use samples. I think, if you're gonna gate and all that crap, like I just love I love the art of being able to tune a drum set, hit a drum set, mic a drum set up, put it on tape or in your computer digitally, whatever, and there it is, and get it to the point where it's still a kick-ass sounding drum set at the end of by the time the song's mixed. And you go, listen to those drums. Like when we listen to great drum tracks, whether it's Stuart Copeland or whether it's Bonham, it's like there was no trickery going on.
That'll let you go alone. It's times like these
Doug Aldrich, who was the main guitar, guitar player at the time, it was Doug and Red Beach. Doug and I had jammed somewhere, I don't know, at a benefit or something. And then he called me and said, hey, we're looking for a drummer. And all right, cool. And that was really it. He asked me and I thought about it and okay. And that was 2010 and we made the record. And then we went on tour 2011. And so that's all. I did a record, I did the tour. And then 2012, we didn't do anything. There was no work. We didn't do a record or tour. Yeah. And then I split in 2013, and that was it. It was a record and a tour, but it was great. I had covered it. It was awesome. I had a blast playing, touring with them, doing those shows. He was very encouraging as far as like the drum solo stuff. He was. That's why in that the DVD from Japan, the joke was, he's like, hey, Tichy, Tishmeister, when we go to Japan, you should use chopsticks in your drum solo. And I was like, it's so funny, And then a buddy of mine was like, oh, if you use chopsticks, why don't you use Ginsu dives too? And it was a joke, And then I asked our assistant, I was like, hey, at the first festival show we're doing in Japan, can you get some chopsticks and Ginsu knives? And in a Japanese headband, And that was it. So I never practiced it. And then I just put them up behind the kit and I did it. I was like, okay, I'll do the chopsticks and I'll do the Ginsu. I didn't know what I was going to do. And that was it. That was the first time. And then we continued with it. But David so one night I accidentally just popped these sticks off the floor tom. Like I was doing it here and there, but I would just do it like one time, play, boom, and catch it, whatever. But in the solo, it was because half of the solo is like, had some structure in the drum solo, like, okay, I'll start with this, I'll go to this, but there was a lot of spots where I'm like, oh, just do whatever you want, and somewhere in there I was thinking, what can I do to keep these sticks popping? So you just you hit one stick and it gives you enough time, and but however I did it that first time, I wasn't trying to do it. I just did like this one. I just did it like 4 times in a row. I was like, I'm just gonna hit it and keep my bass drum going, boom, 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 and David was on the side of the stage. He's like, oh man, that's stick fireworks. You got to do that every night. I was like, yeah, that is cool. That's a cool way to, end a solo,
Amazing Brian Tichy over here.
I'm seeing that you have a look with drums behind you, green sparkle, like the 1971, 72 John Bonham style.
Yeah, I have some. There's a smaller a silver sparkle bass drum as well over there, because it has a hole in it and some muffling, you know, for a regular rock bass drum sound when I'm recording for people. But then over there I have a couple 26 inches with no muffling and, you know, no hole. So, and that's when I do my own stuff, you know, for my own band or whatever, certain occasions, you know. I just swap them out, swap the bass drum out. But I have a maple Ludwig over there as well.
Can we see it, or is it
yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and there's the other green bass, and then you can see the bass drum there. So
yeah,
it's what's that?
Is that 22 or 24?
That's a 24. Yeah, and there's a Superphonic 6.5 and a, you know, the 14, 16, 18. Yeah, I've got, like, you know, I've got all the Bonham kits, the color, you know, because I've done this Bonzo bashes and we've, you know, over the years, you know, I'm working with Ludwig, endorsing Ludwig, you know, I've got the green sparkle, the maple, and the acrylic, you know, the amber acrylic. But I also got myself, like, I bought a 70s white Ludwig because it reminded me of Michael DeRozier. You know, somebody was selling a bunch of drums. So I have that, and I have the whole silver sparkle double bass kit from that bass drum that's there. And then I have another a stainless steel I got years ago. You know, the Bonham sizes.
How was your experience playing with Glenn Hughes?
Yeah, that was a long time ago. We played a couple times together. I did some club shows with him like in 2001. We've been friends for a long time. Yeah, we just, you know, and at the time he came up to my house and we were rehearsing. This other house I had a long time ago, and I built a proper rehearsal room in my garage at that time. Like, I actually did build a room. Yeah, we rehearsed and did a bunch, you know, weekend of shows, and it was great. We've been friends since then. We played together at this Marshall's 50th anniversary. Was it Marshall? Yeah, Marshall's 50th anniversary back in 2012, I think. And we jammed together. Now he's great.
Yeah. Now that you're saying anniversary, I remember that show with Slash and Zakk Wylde, the Gibson one. You were playing.
Yeah, that was the Gibson one back. That was Gibson's 50th, and that was 1994. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was the first time I think I met Slash and jammed with him and Zach, and which was cool because we played, and then Slash came and played with us in LA at our last Pride and Glory show.
Wow.
At the end of 1994. And the reason I say that is because that was, and we had similar management. Zach was also managed by Guns N' Roses management. So when Zach ended Pride and Glory and Slash had Snakepit ready to roll, Slash had just played with me a couple times the year before, and I was Zach's drummer. So it was kind of like, oh, what's Brian doing? Mm-hmm. Because Zach's not playing, you know, he's not doing his band anymore. So the management called me and said, "Hey, want to go jam with Slash? He's doing a tour." And I was like, "Hell yeah!" Because I love Slash and I love Guns N' Roses, but Pride and Glory wasn't doing anything. I was sitting at home going, "Holy shit!" I thought we were gonna do like another record and continue. So when Slash called and I went down and jammed with him, I think a few drummers went down and played, and then they called me the next day, said, "You got the gig," and then we rehearsed, and they needed a bass player. They need a bass player like, "Hey, we need a bass player like James Amenzo." He's not. So James came down and jammed, and then that was even better because we're like, oh, cool. Brian and James they were Pride and Glory together. They're already rhythm section. Yeah. So that was it. Both of us, you know, it was the two of us with Gilby and Slash and Eric Dover on vocals, and that was it. Right in the rehearsals, and bam, right on the tour. Toured for the next 6 months or something, and yeah, it was great. More Europe shows, Donington festivals, and Japan, South America, the States. Yeah, that was great. That was a nice whirlwind of looking back, it's like, it's funny because I didn't give a shit about the money. It was like, hey, I'm getting paid and I'm paying my bills because I barely have any bills. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm nothing for the most part. But looking back, it's like, you know, it was like 93, 94, 95, you know, it was like all the stuff I did in that period. I did a Vinnie Moore record because I was playing with Vinnie Moore prior to that. Like we were touring 91 and 92, and then we did a record. I was doing stuff with this guitar player, Stevie Salas. So it's kind of like, but anyways, those few years, 93, 94, 95, were pretty busy. And, and I was in like my early 20s, you know, mid 20s. But man, you know, at that point, man, it was so like, I'll do whatever, man. I'm getting to play with Zach around the world. I'm in a band with Zach. I get to play with Slash, and you know, these are guitar icons, you know, and I'm getting this exposure and this experience through them. But so it was funny because back then, man, money didn't matter, you know. Like, of course you had to think about it, but it was like, I have to prove myself. This is an opportunity that I have to take advantage of, and really, who cares about the money? You know, I wasn't, you know, didn't have kids. I was, like I said, I was in my early 20s, mid 20s. You know,
Great rock and roll band featuring our.
Like it meant a lot to me to be able to play with Don Felder, who's a guitar player from the Eagles, you know, Hotel California. Yeah, he's amazing, and just to play his set, a whole different world. You're playing lightly, play to a click all night, read my charts because we barely ever rehearsed it.
When did you?
But I'm saying,
did you play with him? In which year?
Over the past few years, probably like, I don't know, in 2016 and 17, because I recorded with him in the studio a long time ago, which ultimately it's a long story, but we did a whole record and it didn't come out. And then when I heard it came out, he had gotten a new producer, and the producer was also a drummer. And the first thing he said is, we have to redo all the drums with me on it, and then we'll finish. Like, so all my tracks got wiped. But Don and I were friends, and then soon after that, he had me doing live shows with him whenever his main drummer couldn't do it. But it was just nice because as far as wanting to show that, yeah, I'm not just like a hard rock slam banger, you know, blah blah blah. Like, I'm going and playing with Don Felder. You see me play with Don Felder, it's so not about, I don't want to be looked at. I just want to keep time for this legend with this killer band he has, and I just want to fit in. You know what I mean? I have nothing to prove there except keep good time and play the parts right and make it work, you know, for the band. But it's just like in the studio. Whenever you work with somebody in the studio and you prove you can play to a click and you can get good drum sounds and you can be focused on what they're asking you to do. You know, every time you do that, hopefully it travels around. Word travels around and you get more work from it, you know?
Right now, hate in the air, we're upside down.
this will be the last question of this interview.
Okay.
I want to know what are your plans for the future, and talking about recording or playing with that.
No, there's it's different now. Things have changed, for everybody. So the big picture is there is no real exact plan now, because everybody's kind of waiting for stuff to see where things go. But right now, I'm sitting here, luckily getting studio session work sent to me, and whether it's a famous producer sending me stuff to play on, or the guitar player recommends me to play on something for something else, whatever. I'm getting, and it's always fun to record drums, and the goal is to make the person who hires you happy. So I'm always trying to get good sounds and better myself as an engineer and all that stuff. But that's what I'm doing now, and teaching if somebody wants lessons or whatever. And there's some other records coming up with some other people. But what I have a band called Silverthorn, and Silverthorn, we have an EP that came out in February, and then we couldn't really do much after that. But the EP's out, and it's myself and my singer, guitar player Pete Schilder. He's awesome, and our bass player Daniel Spree. So that's out, and we're writing new music for the next record now. So myself and the singer, we just send ideas back and forth, and I'll cut drums and maybe some bass. Then he'll start cutting guitars and working on vocals. Throw the ideas back and forth. So we're doing that, and a couple other things developing from some recordings I did from some other artists. So there's some new things developing in other ways. So that might get me even busier, but in a good way, like staying home and being able to do stuff here and work within some new projects, but it's all LA based. So, which is cool, man, because right now, if somebody goes out and plays live, like in a certain state in the US or wherever, it's a rarity. And then what we hear is, the more we open things up, the worse coronavirus is, and we're now we have to close things down more. So we really don't know what's going to happen. So it's basically just trying to do whatever you can do now as a musician while you can't go out and tour.
Ha sido un gran placer poder hablar con Brian y bueno, que él nos haya contado todas sus historias con sus bandas y bueno, su desarrollo con el instrumento, con la batería. Así que ha sido un gran placer poder conocerlo de una forma personal, digamos. Así que ha sido un gran placer estar con él. So thank you for everything, Brian. It has been an honor. And we keep in touch.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. I hope you got to everything you wanted to talk about.
Okay, all right, and it would be great if one day you can come to Argentina and make a drum clinic. That would be a great thing.
No, I'd love to. I'd love it. I'd love to. It's great down there, and I haven't been there enough. I've only been there 3 times, So yeah, I'd love to get back down there. It'd be great to do a clinic tour down there. It'd be killer.
That would be great. All right, Brian. Nice
Thanks.
to talk to you, and we keep in touch, okay?
All right, thanks, Pablo.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, take it easy.
I don't know where I'm going. Hanging on the promises and songs of yesterday, and I've made up my mind. I ain't wasting no more time. Here I go again. Light 'em up, Jason! Make some noise, Tokyo! Though I keep searching for an answer, I never seem to find what I'm looking Thank you very much indeed. Arigato.